Hey, what's up, guys? It's MugenLord here, and we're going to talk about Square Enix. Apparently, you guys, especially in the algorithm, when it comes to Square Enix and what we talk about with their business decisions and what they've been doing with the Final Fantasy franchise, it appears that you guys really like those videos and you guys like to weigh in because you guys are very passionate about the company. So, it appears that Square Enix had put out another survey, and the survey got some people excited and it's got some people scratching their head of where they're going as far as Final Fantasy and other titles moving forward into the future, and I just wanted to weigh in on that. So definitely, if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts on this video, before we begin, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we want to dive into it. Now, apparently that Square Enix, and somebody had got a hold of it, where they sent out these confidential, I guess you would say, surveys, because they want to ask and they want to gauge where the audience is at. Sega has done it when it came to Sonic the Hedgehog. When Sonic Frontiers was coming out, they asked them would they love to see a return or a remake to Sonic Adventure and many other Sonic titles, which also got fans excited because there's indications that maybe we will probably be getting some of these titles because they're asking us what we'd like to see these games. So they have these titles in mind. It's no different with Square Enix, because they have done a survey before that leaked out that talked about a potential new Final Fantasy Tactics and many other Square Enix franchises that's been dormant for some time. But apparently another survey has released, and it has quite a few things that has me like, okay, what is going on here? And we maybe be prepared for a new slew of remakes as far as Final Fantasy is concerned. And there's a potential sequel, or they talking about a sequel of another Final Fantasy title that may have you scratching your head. So what I'm talking about, we can go to Twitter real quick, because this post was from a Twitter user that goes by the name the Dragoon Hero, and he posted this. He says, I just found out that this Final Fantasy survey is real, which people have been confirming it was, and I wanted to take it myself because there are potential games here that I want this to happen, namely the Word Cerberus reunion, Final Fantasies 6, 7, 6, 8, 9, and X remake. All right, so we'll talk about this, and a Dissidia reboot. That's what really got me. So the survey that you see right here says, which potential Final Fantasy games would you be more excited right now? Final Fantasy 17, Final Fantasy X3. Now, there's the thing about X3. X3 has been talked about. Even the producer behind Final Fantasy X has said that they already had a script for Final Fantasy X3, and that we could most likely see it sometime in the near future, that X3 will in fact happen at some point. This is one right here that got me. Final Fantasy 15 Part 2. Final Fantasy 15 Part 2. Now the thing is, I wasn't a big fan of Final Fantasy 15. Really didn't like the game at all. And like I said, you could tell it was a spin-off Final Fantasy game. They had to give it a number because of how long it took for development of the game. And they have yet to release a new mainline Final Fantasy game. So I don't put too much, like, I guess, weight too much against them. But I wasn't a big fan of it. But the fact is that they want to do a Part 2. And if you guys seen the ending and everything, you can probably do something else with it. I don't know. But this one right here too, Dirge Cerberus reunion. So Dirge Cerberus, of course, is a Vincent Valentine spinoff. A lot of people make fun of that game because a lot of some of the wonky elements, especially with the gameplay, and also the fact is that the storyline was just, Jesus Christ. But the fact is that they're going to do a reunion version. Now, when they say reunion, it's kind of like what they've done with, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core reunion with Zack. So it'll get that treatment, which means they're not going to do any massive changes as far as gameplay is concerned. They'll add some quality of life stuff to it. I think that game would definitely need some major quality of life changes to it as well, and just give it not a Final Fantasy VII remake graphical update, but they'll give it a reunion graphical update where it still looks great, is serviceable, and everything of the sort. Maybe they'll do this as a tie-in or a way to help, I guess you say boost up the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy, because I really think they're going to do a reunion, Dirge Cerberus reunion. I really believe they're going to do it. It's easy. It's an easy cash in. I don't see them not being able to do this. I think they'll probably do this, either if they wanted us to or not, wanted us to vote on it or not. Then you have Final Fantasy VI remake. This is something else that they've been talking about as well, that one of the directors said they were interested in wanting to go back and revisit Final Fantasy VI and do a remake for that. So I can definitely see that happening. Final Fantasy VIII remake, this is interesting. I really wasn't a fan of Final Fantasy VIII too much. I wasn't really interested, and even the characters or the world itself, it just didn't really grab me, even though I owned the game, played the game, whatever. It just didn't pull me in. But if they remake it, I'll definitely give it a go and revisit that title. Final Fantasy IX remake. Well, this is actually like, from the rumors, they said Final Fantasy IX, especially from the Nvidia leak. Everything on that Nvidia leak was correct. Everything that so far that came out was correct, and there's still titles that still have yet to come out. So Final Fantasy IX remake is inbound, is bound to happen. What kind of remake is getting as far as treatment is concerned, that remains to be seen. We don't know yet, but I'm expecting to hear at least next year about the Final Fantasy IX remake from Square Enix. Final Fantasy X remake. Now, they already talked about Final Fantasy X 3. And I think to get everybody involved and want everybody to play Final Fantasy X3, I think they will remake Final Fantasy X first. I think they're definitely going to go in that direction, remake the game. And it appears a lot of fans really want Final Fantasy X to actually happen. Now, me, in my personal opinion, Final Fantasy X was actually a good game. But for me, I think this begin the downfall for Final Fantasy. Like, Final Fantasy X was very linear in my personal opinion. This is I don't know, even when I was in high school, when this game came out, it was something about Final Fantasy X. I said, yo, something about Final Fantasy X. It's Final Fantasy, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy in some senses. But it was still overall a good game. But for them to remake it, I can definitely see that happen. Final Fantasy X is remastered. That was in the Nvidia leak. That's going to happen sometime soon. We're going to hear an announcement for that. Just a matter of when we're going to hear that announcement. This right here, the CD of Final Fantasy reboot. I said this. You can check out my videos. I said this before in my videos that I love Final Fantasy Dissidia, or Dissidia of Final Fantasy, especially Dissidia of Final Fantasy NT. You can check out my videos about how it was wasted potential, things they could have done to save that series, that franchise, that game itself. I love that game. And I can't see them just abandoning that franchise because it can work. It just needs to have some retooling, some retweaking, and it has to have content that satisfies both the competitive and the single player experience. They have something. It's Final Fantasy. You have a powerful brand. There's no way in the world you can't come up with something interesting with that concept. So that I would definitely love to see. World of Final Fantasy 2, never played the first one. I heard people like that game, but this one right here, Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles reboot, would love that. Love that. I would love a reboot of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles 2. Make it a great experience. Because this is a multiplayer Final Fantasy game. I mean, they can do so much with this as far as online play and customizing your character, customizing your village, your race, and everything like that. Crafting, everything. They can. I'm not a fan of live service. If they wanted to make this a live service game and actually put effort into it, I think that Crystal Chronicles would be that live service game that they could potentially do if done right. That's if they do it right. But this is the survey right here, and this is really interesting because this survey right here is letting you know where the developers' minds are at when it comes to these potential titles. That these guys are most of these, in my personal opinion, some of these are already coming out. And I believe that most of these are already in development, or they already having discussions about these titles. Like I can see this happening. And the thing is, most of these are remakes and remasters. We talked about in my previous video, which I said before, that this generation has just been ridiculous when it comes to remakes, especially from Sony themselves, with remakes and remasters of titles. Like, we are 3 years and going on 4 years into this generation, and we have yet to see any of these consoles actually pull and take advantage of the technology. I mean, to the point where you cannot make this cross general. The only way you can get it is on next gen consoles. That's the only way you can experience this is on next generation hardware. So we see a lot of remakes right here and a lot of remasters and reboots on this. And it seems like that Final Fantasy, or just Square Enix in general, they really are hurting right now. They don't want to take any chances on trying new IP or reviving other IPs. It's just Final Fantasy right here. Final Fantasy is it for them. And if they can milk or rebuild a lot of these, to fill in the gap, because their goal is they want to release a Final Fantasy game almost every year or at least every 2 years. If you remake a lot of these and put different teams on them, they can really accomplish this. You can imagine every year a new Final Fantasy game coming out, and it caters to different fan bases. So will this be market cannibalism? Yeah, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But to see this, I don't know, man. Like, and the thing is, the question also remains is, will most of these, if this ever happens, will most of these just be exclusive to PlayStation? We talked about it in the previous video with Square Enix and their decisions to make these games just exclusive, and it's been hurting them in a sense. Will we be able to see these on like the on the Xbox Series X? And we do have a next generation Nintendo coming, so we could also see this on whatever the next generation Nintendo console is going to be. But that essentially wraps everything up. I thought this was interesting. I want to hear your thoughts when it comes to this survey. Like, and people are taking this survey. People are seeing that these are ideas or suggestions or things that Square Enix, back at the office is considering and having board discussions about. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts. Which one of these games, or how many of these games would you like to see get rebooted or remastered or remade for current gen hardware? So definitely your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord, sign off. See you Game Fiends later. Peace out.